in our century of Euro Tour finals, this one's pretty apt.
57.
It's a fitting final, isn't it? A 7th meeting of the two players this year. Price leads the head-to-head 4-2. Has been an explosive form, and he's picking up where he left off. His average for the tournament is just shy of 104. Michael's not too shabby either, around about 99.5. It promises to be a blockbuster way to end the weekend here in Riesa.
Yeah, Price, not just in this tournament, but for the last 4 to 6 weeks, has just been on another planet. And even though his seeding reads 11 compared to the 1 next to the name of the dynamic Dutchman, many will fancy him as a favourite to win this final. Oh, what a start this would be.
Strap yourselves in. What an opening leg, and it almost culminated in a 1-6-4, possibly a 1-3-4. Topsy eye there. There's one of him, begging for a second one. And gets the second one. What a statement from Gerwyn Price in the opening leg. A 12-dart breaker throw on 1-3-4 after Michael van Gerwen had just missed ball for a 1-6-4.
Price doing what Price does. He's enjoying it, we're enjoying it, everybody's enjoying this version of Gerwyn Price.
Final nerves are not something associated with these two. Just pulls it low. Over to you, Michael van Gerwen, your turn. He's in the corner.
37.
Well, what a start. First to 8 legs. Mark mentioned those meetings they already have. In one of those, Price averaged about 115 in a Premier League tussle. But he wants 116 here to double his lead. Needed the treble next door.
I mentioned Price had won 4 of the 6 meetings this year. He missed some match darts in one of them as well, but roles are reversed in Cardiff. Michael missed some match darts in his team, so kind of an equal head-to-head scoreline. The scoreline here could read 2-0 to Gerwyn Price if he hits this double 8. And he does. Brilliant start from the Iceman. 2 legs and no reply.
Yeah, strong stuff from Price, who, you know, when we saw him exit at the World Championship last December, he was very disappointed, talking about even walking away from the game, potentially. Well, on this evidence, we're all very glad that he hasn't, and also very glad that some of the crowd seem to be beginning to turn, appreciating Gerwyn Price.
That's been a telling fact that he's admitted that in a couple of interviews as well, and just allows him to get on with his game. And when he gets on with his game, he can be unplayable. His winning averages throughout this tournament: 104, 107, 96, 107 in the semis. Currently averaging around about 120 in this fight. It's early. Don't expect it to drop too much, the level he's been performing at.
96.
Has taken out 6 three-figure finishers in this tournament, including a 1-3-4 to win the first leg. 116's one of them.
96.
Didn't get it on this occasion, and it's a chance for Michael van Gerwen, who's had a dart at the bullseye, missed it, been punished, now gets 2 at double 16. That becomes 1 at double 8, and he's squandered those chances as well.
20.
Big misses for Michael van Gerwen. Double break if he finds the double 10. Price scrambling up to double 5. An opportunity missed. This could be pivotal.
Requires 16.
They both have had a few spells of
Game shown, the third
doubles
leg.
deserting them, but Michael van Gerwen brings a swift end to his in this final and gets off the mark. Wins for Michael van Gerwen against Nat Campbell, a match in which he survived 2 darts to be knocked out, and then routine stuff against Jose de Sousa, winning 6-1, 6-0 against Peter Wright, and then 7-4 against the German home hero Martin Schindler, who reached his first Euro Tour semi-final.
And Max and Michael, I expected one, there was plenty of room. Price has the breaker throw, possibly could have been a double break.
Now look at the bullseye here. Should look at the bullseye here.
Right to check with Respray. And that leaves biggest finish of them all. What will Michael van Gerwen leave? Leaves a lot more gettable out. 1, 2, 4. Could be a chance for Van Gerwen to draw level here. There's concerns about him being steamrolled in the early stage of this final had he dropped that previous leg. Now it could be level. Bullseye.
He's only managed to find one big finish in the tournament so far, a 1-3-2. Price looking for a 7th three-figure out shot.
70. Michael, you require
Good races to the hockey, double 15 the target.
Waste of that now, double 4.
20.
Missed opportunities. It's all got a bit scrappy at the back end of the legs in the last 2 legs. But this is crucial for Price to keep that breaker throw in hand, and he's got it. He let Van Gerwen off in the previous leg. Van Gerwen just let him off there. You'd argue, and probably at a fair scoreline after 4 legs played.
Yeah, Price has powered through this tournament again. 3 averages in his 4 wins of more than 100, in fact more than 104 against Ross Smith, Mike De Decker and Dirk van Dijvenbode, that demolition job. And he's in that area once more. It's where he's been living for the last month.
And if anyone can go toe-to-toe with him, it's Michael van Gerwen.
100.
He did have a little bit of a more edgy average 96.7, but by his standards, against Rob Cross. Speaking of standards, Michael van Gerwen fires in what's already his 4th maximum of this final.
6 in all. 11 dart leg incoming. Settle for the 12.
75.
He's missed those doubles. Well, that adjustment twice in the match now, 16 to the 8. He's going to get another go here.
Just allows Price to pressurise though, doesn't he? And he's done that perfectly.
Require 8.
How are you feeling, Michael? How are you feeling? Not so good.
What a let off. 5 darts for 3-2. And you don't expect Price to miss tops for 4-1. It is 4-1. Gifted to him that leg. Price is halfway to yet another win in Riesa. And back-to-back European Tour titles.
8 darts missed at double over the last couple of legs. We're disappointed, dejected. Michael van Gerwen.
95.
Price powers on.
58.
They both head to Birmingham for the next leg of the Premier League. Michael van Gerwen takes on Chris Dobie. Gerwyn Price will take on Dimitri van den Berg. Which one of them will go there with the International Darts Open titles? Looking like Gerwyn Price at this stage. 4-1 in front with a couple of breaks.
34.
Mentioned earlier that this is the first time they've met in a Euro Tour final. That's astonishing considering that 53 of those finals have featured one of them before this one. Gerwyn Price has got an incredible strike rate. Won 7 out of 8. Michael van Gerwen's 35 out of 45.
58.
Doesn't look that good next to that record of Price, does it? Doesn't look that good against Price. You can see he's playing to the peak of his powers.
That 5th leg could be the decisive one. 5-1 now, Gerwyn Price leads, but the previous leg, Van Gerwen had 5 darts. And it's put Gerwyn Price in relative cruise control here.
97.
Van Gerwen was in this situation. It was in his favour in the semi-finals. He raced into an early lead and he'd done all his damage early, and it might be the same scenario. Gerwyn Price here.
Yeah, he's more recently had these experiences, hasn't he? Michael Van Gerwen's had this experience more than anybody else. A 46th European Tour final in 89 events that he's played in. He's actually been in more finals than he hasn't when he's played MVG. But Price just more recently. This is the first in 9 events for Michael Van Gerwen. Price won just last week. Maybe it's showing a little bit.
And another break. Michael Van Gerwen did chase down Gerwyn Price after trailing early in the World Match Play final. It's a much longer format than this. 14 segment, double 11 for 6-1. Oh, it was 12. 22 for Gerwyn Price, but doesn't matter. 6-1. And there's not a lot Michael Van Gerwen can do. He's averaging over 107, Gerwyn Price. His tournament average is around about 104. He's been unplayable at times. And he's 2 legs away from racing to yet another European Tour title.
Yet still, Van Gerwen's had chances. He missed those 8 darts across a couple of legs. Legs 4 and 5. Could have been a totally different story. Price would still have led the match, but Van Gerwen would be in the match, and he's not in it at the moment.
100.
That could change. He's fired in 5 180s.
139.
His first 9 average is actually slightly higher than that of Price.
The repetition in the throw of Gerwyn Price. And said Michael Van Gerwen hasn't done a great deal wrong here. Fluffed his lines in a few legs. He won't give up yet. A tall order, but he'll keep chipping away.
Might give up if this double 14 goes in.
93.
Look how quickly he's to the hockey. Impatient to get Price out of the way and try and get himself into the game.
It's a really good leg from Van Gerwen. 11 dart breaker throw. You mentioned there, Chris, just keen to get on with it. If he can rattle through a couple of legs and get this scoreline closer in double quick time, it might give Gerwyn Price something to think about. But Price has been pretty resilient to anything thrown at him lately. There was that rare blip in Berlin when he lost to Johnny Clayton in the semi-finals. But otherwise, he's been used to winning lately.
Yeah, it's taken special displays, hasn't it, to prevail over Price. He can't stop hitting maximums, Michael Van Gerwen. Half a dozen now of the 10 in this match.
That expression for Michael Van Gerwen when he hit that 180 tells you that he hasn't given up yet. Keep your opponent 2 legs away. You've still got a little bit of wriggle room. And that will be the plan for Michael Van Gerwen as he chases down Gerwyn Price.
He's been in just about every situation possible in darts matches. MVG won't be phased. We'll keep going, we'll keep throwing. That's okay.
69.
In the end, he leaves tops.
36.
He will return with 3 darts at it.
96.
Back-to-back legs for Michael Van Gerwen. Double top. And he needs to hit this, all his hard work. And he's just done it with sloppy darts at the double again. Price to go 1 away.
A rare reprieve for the disastrous doubling that has plagued Michael Van Gerwen in this final.
Let off for Van Gerwen. It's now 6-3. He's missed 16 darts at doubles in this final, Van Gerwen. The average is still over 100. Price has missed 11.
21.
Did get the better of Michael Van Gerwen in the... Well, he's thrown the dart basically at him there. over his shoulder. He did apologise there, Gerwyn Price. He's just in his own zone.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything in that, I don't. Price offered his apologies and Michael Van Gerwen didn't seem too fussed about it. Just one of them. Both players keen to get on with it.
Yeah, beat him in the quarterfinals en route to winning that Euro Tour last week. His 7th title.
Price got a decent cushion in this leg.
Pitch perfect, this.
Yeah, treble 7. Settle for that.
27.
The power scoring from Price.
34.
Doubling's been fine, and the disastrous doubling from Michael Van Gerwen has resulted in this scoreline. 7-3 to Price, who's throwing everything at Van Gerwen, literally, as we saw in the previous leg.
Van Gerwen needs to find 5 successive legs against a player averaging around 107. It's a tall order. If anyone can do it, it's Michael Van Gerwen, but you just can't see Gerwyn Price not finding one of these next 5 legs. It's just been too good over the last month or so to let a lead like this slip, hasn't he, Chris?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a really good spell of play. I think you'd be hard pushed to argue that he's not been the premier player in world darts over the last 4 to 6 weeks. There's a little group, isn't there, at the top of the pack now, and it can alternate and change.
99.
But the standard, the consistently high standard of Gerwyn Price, we're not just talking 100+ averages, it's 105+ averages, and that's where he is once again.
Van Gerwen
85.
to get within 3 legs. 44. The double 16. He hasn't made this adjustment very well in the match. He does on that occasion. 7-4 now. The Price throws for the title again. And if he doesn't do it here, he's got the backup of having the darts again if he needs them.
Yeah, you would think he'd get a chance or 2 or 10.
59.
Michael Van Gerwen over the the start of this season, he's been okay, hasn't he? He's pretty standard stuff, maybe a little bit below what he can do, but Price seems to be playing at the peak of his powers and ominously seems to be getting better and better.
Certainly does. I really think it helps that he's put himself in a position to finally qualify for the playoffs of the match play. He's just setting up his year perfectly, Gerwyn Price. He was concerned about not being in the rolling 16 to be a seed on the European Tour. Well, he's certainly addressed that now. I like that shot. You can come down for the 57, hitting 19. You may only get 1 dart to double. He's going to get 2 here, minus a real big slip. And it is for the International Darts Open title. 56 for Gerwyn Price.
And Price powers past Michael Van Gerwen as the Iceman reigns in Riesa once again. It's a fantastic 4 International Darts Open title.